Hey friends, welcome back to another video. Will here, Orlando-based flight attendant. Hope you're doing wonderful. People think that flight attendants are gone all the time, and that can be true. However, with enough seniority, this job can turn into a 9-to-5, and today I am going to show you exactly how you can do that if you're looking into transitioning to this job. Today I will be working a turn to Houston, Texas. I packed my turn bag and I also packed my lunch bag, so I am actually about to head out. And when we get to the airport, I'll be sharing more details as of exactly what I mean when this job can turn into a 9-to-5. Made it to the employee parking lot. I am waiting for Tori to get here. She will be here in about maybe 5 more minutes, and then we'll hop on the employee shuttle to go to the terminal and then head over to the gate, check in for our turn and work this turn. I am flying position mid-cabin. We are flying on a 321 Neo. It is our newest aircraft on our fleet, and it has capacity for 240 passengers with 5 flight attendants. We'll see if it's full. I have not checked the loads. As a matter of fact, let's check the loads together and see how many people are flying with us today. It is somewhat of a quick turn, so we actually go there and our flight time will be probably like 2 hours and 5 minutes, and coming back is usually like 1:55. I've done it in 1:45 the last time I did this Houston turn. I normally don't do turns because I feel like trips are better when it comes to per diem. However, I did share a few vlogs ago that I did get these turns awarded with Tori. Tori's a friend that we actually met. I think I met her in my first year. We're around the same seniority, and when I met her, she was Orlando based and I was Philly based, and I think I was a floating flight attendant on one of her trips, and we never saw each other again. And then when I transferred to Orlando, the first trip I got out of Orlando as a line holder was with her, and we've became friends since. Loads are in, guys. Going to Houston, we have -19 out of 240. Coming back, we have 22 open seats. It seems like there's a lot of people on our standby list coming back. They're all around the same seniority, so I wonder if they're deadheading new flight attendants or what's going on. Tori messaged me earlier when she was on her way. She asked me if I wanted coffee. I said yes. I also had dinner at home before I came to work. I'm all set. It is currently 5:08. Our airport time is at 5:45, so we need to check in 1 hour prior to departure, and we need to be at the gate 15 minutes prior to departure. I mentioned earlier that I was packing my turn bag and also my lunchbox. With turns, there's always a slight chance that you might get stuck in the destination that you fly to. It could be mechanical, it could be weather, it could be all these other reasons where you just don't come back home and you do have to stay overnight somewhere. So flight attendants do pack what is called a turn bag to make sure that they have the essentials in case that they get stuck somewhere. Personally, I don't think that I've ever gotten stuck doing a turn. I know Tori has a few times. She recently got stuck in Detroit, and then she was doing a Montego Bay turn and she ended up in Jacksonville because it was pretty bad weather here in Orlando, and so she had to overnight in Jacksonville, but she might have deviated and rented a car and came back to Orlando. I'm not sure, but personally I've never gotten stuck. Hopefully today is not the day. Turns really work for people that want to be at home with their families, if they have other responsibilities where they really need to be at home at a certain time. Turns do allow you to be present, to be around. Now I will say though, when you start, it doesn't matter which airline, you will be on reserve, so it is kind of hard to get to turns. But when you have enough seniority, when you put in your time in the airline industry, you are in control of your schedule, so that does allow you to manipulate it the way that you want. I personally prefer trips, but like I said earlier, I did get these turns awarded with Tori, and I was like, why not work them? They are good for people that really need to be home, people that don't really feel like staying overnight anywhere. I know a lot of flight attendants that don't necessarily like staying in hotels and stuff like that, so turns do work for them. I guess what I'm really trying to say is that with this job, you can really be present, you can really be around, you're not necessarily gone all the time. Granted, the size of the airline does matter, so even though my airline is mainline, we are not as big as other airlines like Legacy Airlines, so I am able to move up fast in seniority and have control over my schedule and then do these turns. So if you are someone that are looking into transitioning to this job, you are worried about being away from home, know that yes, you might be away from home, but after you put in your time, you will be able to be around more often. Tori just messaged me that she's here, so Now I just need to figure out where she parked. Waiting here for the bus. Tori actually showed up, but she forgot my coffee in her car. So she went to grab the coffee. I'm watching her back, and when she gets back, we're gonna head over to the terminal. We made it here to Houston. Our flight time was 1 hour and 58 minutes. We had 229 passengers, and now we are waiting to start boarding again to head back to Orlando. This is what turns are. You go from your base to a destination, and then you fly back. Sometimes when you're doing these flights, you have mechanical delays, you have weather delays, you have other situations that happen, and you end up either timing out or something gets canceled and you get stuck in these destinations. That is kind of like the downfall, but like I was explaining earlier in the video, that hasn't happened to me yet. So let's hope that, you know, that doesn't happen in the near future. Everything is good to go for us to fly back. We have about 35 minutes before we start boarding again, so we are going to have a on-time boarding today, and we have about 180 passengers going back, so about 50 open seats. And I don't know the flight time yet, so I will for sure let you know the flight time when I head back or when I get back to Orlando. And what else was I gonna share? I was able to swap a position with another flight attendant, so I'm actually sitting in the back with Tori for this flight. A lot of you guys have been asking me, who is Tori? Will she ever reveal her identity? What do you have to say about that, Tori?
No.
You won't?
No.
You will never reveal your identity?
No.
Okay, all right. You heard it from her, guys. We are finally here. We're done. I don't know where I parked.
You probably go like a month and a half.
No, I'm gonna find something. I'm gonna see if I can swap that turn.
For next month or this month?
For next month. Honestly, this second flight was really a lot. I don't even know how much I can share, but I'm glad we're done. I'm glad it's over. I don't have to do more turns this month. That was it for me as far as turns. This was probably my 7th turn, maybe. Let me try something here, hang on. Okay, so it is officially 2 in the morning. We are back from this Houston turn, our first flight. I think I already gave you the information on that one. For this second flight, the only thing that I don't think I shared with you guys was our flight time, which was 1 hour and 49 minutes. We had a couple situations on this flight with a few passengers, and obviously as flight attendants, we need to make sure that our aircraft is safe because we have a lot of people, and ultimately our jobs are safety. And so we had to handle that situation while we're on the ground in Houston. So we did leave a little late, and so when we got here to Orlando, our gate was occupied, so we had to sit on the tarmac for a little bit before we were able to get to our gate. I'm glad it's over. I am so grateful for the crew that I was with. There was only one person that I had never flown with before that did get called for this turn because our 8th flight attendant called in sick. He was great. He was great. We all got along super well. And what I truly liked is that all 5 of us were in sync as far as working together to make sure that our cabin was safe. And ultimately, that's just the way things should be. And so I am very grateful for the crew that I had. This is pretty much what a turn looks like. So if you are someone that are not interested in just going on a trip and staying, you know, in different cities or being gone for 3-4 days or even 2 days, then working turns might be the option for you. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, in order to get to this, to work turns, you do have to put in your time with the airline industry, especially if it's a big airline that has over 20,000 flight attendants, or I don't know, 15,000 flight attendants, maybe 10,000. Obviously, we do have thousands of flight attendants, but we're not in the 10,000s. That is why strategically I picked this airline, because I knew that I was not not going to sit on reserve for a long time, and my quality of life was going to be somewhat better only because I have more control over my schedule. And don't get me wrong, there are flight attendants that work for other airlines. They do find what works for them, and they still have good work-life balance and good quality of life. But for me, for where I want to be right now and the things that I want to accomplish and the things that I want to do, being here makes the most perfect sense. And it's been great. You know, I've been here for 2 years and I have somewhat of a good seniority, which I hold the days off that I want, and I'm able to hold turns if I really wanted to do turns. My turns have gotten a lot better. I used to get like red-eye turns awarded, but I've gotten day turns. Next month, I actually got 3 turns awarded. 2 of them were day turns. So the schedule is getting better. The purpose of this video was to really inspire those that are thinking about the job and don't want to be gone for a long time. It is possible. It's time for me to say goodbye. I have to be back at the airport at noon tomorrow. I have a report time of 1:19 and I go on a fake 3-day trip. I'm not really sure if I'm going to vlog it because it is the ice slip overnight, which I did last weekend, but I will see if I can come up with something and bring you guys something different. It would also be nice to just take a little break and not vlog, but I'm sure I will vlog it. And yeah, we'll see what I come up with for next week. But for now, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for coming to work with me. If you did enjoy the vlog, go ahead and smash that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and I am going to see you next Sunday for another flight attendant video. Take care.